All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is a road special. I'm not even home right now, but I'm recording this because honestly, it matters that much. Currently, I'm sitting in a hotel room in Atlanta, Georgia. So if I have any listeners in Georgia, hey, Georgia, it's kind of chilly out here. This was totally not expected. And I was absolutely not prepared for it because I have been in Texas and then Oklahoma. It wasn't even that cold there, but man, it's cold here. But listen, somewhere in this country tonight, there's a young director sitting in their car after rehearsal, staring at the steering wheel, and they're thinking, I cannot do this another year. And conversely, there's likely a president, a booster president, staring at a bank statement, and they're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to end up on the news. And right now, both of them feel like the other side is the enemy. And here's what I want everybody to understand. Most of these programs aren't toxic. They're unmanaged. And we're not going to fix this by blowing relationships up. We're going to fix it with clarity. We're going to fix it with governance. We fix it with adults behaving like adults. Welcome back to Soundstage EDU. I'm Mike DeJohn. And if you're a band parent, a booster leader, a director, a choir parent, an orchestra parent, theater, guard, this episode applies to all of you. Today's episode is going to be empathetic because I've lived it. But it's also going to be a little bit spicy because some of y'all are out here confidently spreading misinformation like it's an act of leadership. And friends, that's hurting programs. Now, I want to stop right here real quick because I'm on the road. I haven't had time to really prepare this, sketch some notes down, and that's where we're going to go off. So if I'm a little disjointed or a little unpolished, that makes this real. I just want you to realize this is real. So let me say something that might surprise you. Conflict is not the problem. Your booster club is full of parents with different values, different budgets, different emotional triggers, different histories, different expectations. And a director is carrying performance pressure, admin pressure, contest pressure, student behavior, staffing, budgets, and sometimes a principal who couldn't spell fine arts if their job depended on it. Guess what, y'all? You're going to clash. The problem is not conflict. The problem is when the relationship becomes a power war. I saw a post today, and it's gone now. But the sentiment is everywhere because this wasn't the only post that I've seen like this. Recently, I feel like we're kind of all imploding on one another. And we need to get a handle of it. But this post said, and if you're listening, I want you to know I'm not calling you out. I just feel like this needed some clarity. And your post was just a catalyst that spurred me to action here. But it said, and I'm paraphrasing, if your first solution is to go to the principal or superintendent, you are the problem. And listen, I get why people say that. I do. Because there are toxic parents. There are bullies. There are people who weaponize the admin. But here's the truth. Escalation that you're seeing, it's not always bullying. The accountability is not always aggression. And to the silent ones, it's not always support. Some things that go on in these organizations require escalation, period. If you see financial misuse, policy violations, retaliation, discrimination, or student safety concerns, listen, you don't just talk that out and hope that it resolves itself. That's not leadership. And not to put too fine a point on it, that's enabling. Here's a lie that's quietly killing programs. And it goes something like this. Either you support the director or you support governance. And that's wrong. The real answer is we support directors with governance. Not governance to punish, governance to protect. But protect who, Mike? Well, it protects everybody. It protects the kids, the directors, the boosters, the program, the school, the bank account, all of your volunteers, and especially your peace of mind. When boosters don't have rules, people get power hungry. It's human nature. And when directors don't have boundaries, people get scared and controlling. And in those situations, everybody loses. Now, let me talk directly to the young director who's salty enough to post online about it. Listen, man, I've been you. I was young. I was idealistic. I was trying my best. And I got hit with parents who didn't like my decisions. Parents who thought that because they had the money that they had authority. People who wanted to control outcomes, and quite frankly, admin who just wouldn't protect me. That experience changes you. I know. It hardens you. And when you feel unsupported, you start thinking that control is safety. You start saying things like, boosters should stay in their lane. Parents are the problem. They're bullying, or they're bullying me. They should never escalate. But listen, man, I am telling you with love, if you don't learn the difference between accountability and bullying, this job will absolutely eat you alive. And it's not because parents are monsters, but because unmanaged systems create monsters. And now I'm going to say something that booster leaders need to hear too. Some of you are not supporting a program. You're trying to govern it. Listen, you don't get to run staffing decisions. You don't get to run pedagogy. You don't get to punish directors through money. And you don't get to treat the director like an employee. You are not human resources. If your booster has become a place where parents campaign for control, people vote out the director emotionally, donors act like bosses, and volunteers act like they own the program, listen, you're not a booster. You're a political machine. And yes, that absolutely drives directors away. So, what do we do when the relationship is fractured? Well, here's the Soundstage EDU answer. Repair before you detonate. And I've said that before to people on consultation calls. Let's fix this before we go nuclear. So what that means, before you go nuclear, you have a meeting. You have a restructure. Maybe even a mediation moment. A clarity reset. Let me give you the actual repair protocol. This is the part that you're going to share with your board. All right? Get something to write with, because this has steps. This is what I actually wrote down. Maybe I'll upload it somewhere. Maybe to the website, maybe to a page. But step 1, name the shared mission. I would have on mine, we are here for student experience. Step 2, define roles clearly. Director leads instruction and program decisions. Booster supports financially and operationally. Admin governs campus policy and risk. Step 3, set boundaries in writing. There's something very powerful about putting pen to paper. It makes it real. Here's some boundaries for you. No cash spending without a vote. A clear and detailed reimbursement policy. A 2-signature rule. I cannot say that enough. And then have purchase approval thresholds. Treat it like a business. Because when you're a 501c3 booster, even when you're not a 501c3 booster, you're functioning as a business. You have all the same things. You have sponsorships. You have deliverables to your sponsors. You have marketing. You have communications. You have all the core pillars of small business. Act like it. Step 4, create a communications ladder. This matters. Ask questions first. Document next. And you escalate only when necessary. Step 5, bring in a neutral party if needed. If the relationship is fractured, you need a translator, not more emotion. Got that? Those are your 5 steps. Want me to read them to you again? Let's do it. Step 1, name the shared mission. Step 2, define roles clearly. Step 3, set boundaries in writing. Step 4, create a communications ladder. And step 5, bring in a neutral party if needed. So I told you this might get a little spicy. So you want the spicy truth? A director who needs total control is not safe. And also, a booster who wants program authority is not safe. Either one of those becomes a culture killer. And I'm not saying that to judge. Lord knows I don't do that. I try not to. I'm human. But I'm saying it because I have watched it personally destroy programs. I watched the same thing destroy 3 programs before we were even at the end of contest season this year. Or I guess that was last year, right? So what does healthy look like? It looks like a director that has autonomy in instruction. Boosters that have structure in finance. The admin has visibility for risk. And parents feel heard without being in charge. Volunteers don't feel exploited. And students are protected from adult drama. And I get it. Healthy is boring. Healthy is calm. Healthy is quiet. But you know what unhealthy is? It's constant emergencies, constant resignations, constant Facebook wars, constant we need a new board, and constant we need a new director. Listen, y'all, you know this, you feel it. That's not passion. That's instability at its core. Now, here's my closing message to both sides. To the directors, listen, you deserve support. You deserve safety. You deserve to lead without being attacked. And to the boosters, you deserve governance. You deserve transparency. You deserve financial protection. This is not directors versus parents. It's structure versus chaos. And if you're listening to this episode right now and you're thinking, this is us, we're fractured, don't blow it up. Don't detonate. Slow it down. Drop your shoulders. Take some breaths. And start formulating a plan to repair it. With policies, with roles, with clarity, with adult behavior. And listen, if you need help writing bylaws, restructuring a booster, building financial controls, or even repairing a fractured relationship, that's what we do here at Soundstage EDU. It's not just a podcast. It's not just some guy with a microphone ranting on y'all from a hotel room when he's not even at home. And we're not going to come into this to take sides. But we're going to do this to protect the kids and keep the programs stable. Stay strong, my friends. You're not alone in this. And you are not crazy for wanting it to be healthy. We're a little more stable. Strong directors need healthy boosters. Healthy boosters need clear governance. That balance protects the kids. End of story.